Hi, my name is Jen. I am an educator here at Connecticut's Beardsley Zoo, and I am in our New World Tropics building. I'm here to give you a quick creature feature about our Pygmy Marmosets. Pygmy Marmosets are in the family Culitridae, which means that they are more closely related to smaller monkeys that live in the Americas as opposed to their larger relatives, which include chimpanzees and apes. In the wild, Pygmy Marmosets can be found high up in the canopy in the rainforests of South America, which include countries such as Brazil, Ecuador, Peru, and Bolivia. Because they live high in the treetops, Pygmy Marmosets have some pretty cool adaptations that allow them to thrive in the environment they live in. First, you will notice their long ringed tail that is longer than their own body. This tail is non-prehensile, which means it isn't used for gripping trees, but rather helping them keep balance. You will also observe that since their tail cannot be used to grip the trees, they have long claw-like fingernails to do that job for them. Sort of like when we use soccer cleats on the field to keep us from slipping while we run. Next, you will see their beautiful color as their body is covered in dense, tawny colored fur that helps them blend into the bark of the trees in perfect camouflage. Lastly, in addition to all of those features, they have these powerful back legs which allow them to leap and jump from tree to vine or from vine to tree. The average adult Pygmy Marmoset can be about 6 inches tall. That's about as tall as my cell phone. But a Pygmy Marmoset can jump at least 16 feet high, which is 32 times their own body length. As their name suggests, Pygmy Marmosets weigh between 3 and 4 ounces. That's about how much a deck of cards will weigh. Like most primates, Pygmy Marmosets live in a group called a troop, which consists of 2 to 9 individuals. Each troop has one dominant male and one dominant female. The females have a gestation period about 4.5 months and usually give birth to twins, and females will give birth every 5 to 6 months because Pygmy Marmosets do not have any time constraints on breeding based on what the season is. Over time, the siblings will grow older and they can either help the mother care for the young or they can help the father scout out for danger in order to protect the troop. In order to keep in communication with one another, Pygmy Marmosets use a series of chatters, trills, and calls to help locate and warn one another in case of nearby danger. Some of these sounds are done at such a high frequency that humans cannot hear them. However, something that we do have in common with these tiny critters is the ability to express emotion through our facial features. They can show fear, contentment, and surprise through moving their lips, ears, and eyelids. Although this is a characteristic that we both have in common, it doesn't necessarily mean it is used in the same way. For us, when we smile, that actually symbolizes that we're happy. For a Pygmy Marmoset, showing your teeth may seem like an aggressive act. Pygmy Marmosets in the wild have an omnivorous diet, which means that they enjoy both plants and other living things. Some of these items include tree sap, leaves, fruits, veggies, and insects. Their favorite of all of those things is tree sap. Also, other insects like to eat tree sap, so hanging around makes a double meal for them. Now that we've given you some background information on the Pygmy Marmosets, I'm going to introduce you to one of our animal care specialists. This is Emma, and she is one of the 3 people that takes care of the Pygmy Marmosets as well as all other animals here in the New World Tropics building. She's going to answer your question. How old are Julio and Chirpa?
So Julio, our male, is 14 years old. And then Chirpa, our female, is 10, so they're both older. Julio is definitely on the older side, but Chirpa is still young enough that she might be able to someday have some babies.
Are they boys or girls, and are they siblings?
So we have one male and one female, so one boy and one girl. Julio is the male, Chirpa is the female. They are not siblings. They are a bonded, hopefully breeding pair, so at some point we're hoping that we'll have little baby Pygmy Marmosets.
How long have they been at the zoo?
So they both got here the summer of 2015. Julio, I believe, was here just a few months before Chirpa, but they've both been here since 2015.
Where did they come from?
Chirpa came from the Lincoln Children's Zoo in Nebraska, and Julio came from the Brevard Zoo in Florida.
What do they eat at the zoo?
So they get a variety of different produce, veggies, and then some fruits. And then we have a special marmoset diet that's made by a company that's specially designed for primates of all different varieties. And then as an extra treat, they get bugs sometimes and some egg and different things to enjoy, but it's not a main part of their diet.
When do they go to sleep, and how long do they sleep for?
So they tend to sleep based on the sunrise and sunset. So because it's winter, they tend to go to bed right around 4:30 as the sun starts to set here. And then, they wake up right around sunrise. Luckily, we have lights set up to mimic sunrise and sunset. So as we're leaving for the day right around 4:30, the lights are getting dim because the sun is starting to go down, and they basically go off of those lights. Even though they're inside, they still get that same kind of sunrise, sunset kind of feel.
Are they sensitive to the hot or cold?
They are definitely cold sensitive. They are tropical animals, so they're found in rainforests. So we always have the building at 77, 78 degrees, sometimes as much as 80 depending on the heat outside. It might be a little bit warmer in here, so they definitely like it to be nice and toasty.
Do they enjoy the company of people, or do they prefer to be alone?
It's hard to say if they prefer the company of people or not. They definitely are very used to us as keepers, and they see people going by all the time. They definitely are people focused. As people walk by, they do look at them, and then usually when we come in the morning, they're in their back holding area, like looking at us and chirping and saying good morning pretty much. So they do enjoy us to a point, but they're not anything like a pet or anything like that. Like, we don't touch them, we don't want them to jump on us, anything like that sort. I mean, we do have relationships with them that we build up over time, but we still treat them like wild animals because they are.
What do they like to play with?
So these guys are our best enrichment using animals. So as you can see, Chirpa right here is going into one of our little baskets. So basically, any enrichment we've given them, they have used. They'll climb all over different things. It's not so much play as in like, throwing a ball back and forth or anything like that, but they always investigate things that we put in there. If there's food on it or not, they're always interested. So they are definitely very curious little monkeys.
Do they enjoy music?
So we do periodically, we'll turn on the radio for all of our animals. We'll usually put in the hallway. We do change up what station we're on. These guys seem to be a little bit more responsive to the pop station, so they're big pop stars.
Do the same people take care of them every day?
So we have 3 keepers in this building, so all 3 of us will take care of them different times throughout the week. So we all have different days off, and we all kind of go back and forth on who takes care of them that specific day. We're always, interacting with them, and we talk with them, and we go by and we'll see them all day, but it's always the 3 of us unless something happens and then another keeper needs to come through. But generally it's the same 3 people.
If you want to know more on how to support our Pygmy Marmosets or any other animal that we have at the zoo, please go to our website, www.beardsleyzoo.org. Or if you happen to be in Connecticut, come pay us a visit.